Hi everybody, Jennifer Blevins-Smith with Integral Clinic Solutions, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Navigating the Business of Medicine. Today I want to talk about kind of an opinion piece, if you will, and that is hiring a spouse to be in a management role in a practice. Again, I am speaking out from experience, my colleagues' experiences, my friends' experiences, all who have worked in healthcare and worked at a practice where a spouse was in an authoritative position and they are the spouse of the provider owner of the practice. This would be a person who has direct reports, so staff would be directly reporting to them. They would have direct control and kind of oversight of the schedule or human resources type situations like pay, PTO, leave, anything that has to do with that, and also maybe workflows. I totally understand why a provider would want their spouse to be in an administrative/management position in their practice. It's someone they trust. It's someone who they know really well, their work ethic, their knowledge base, etc. It's someone that they know has their best interest at heart because they both have like this vested interest in this practice to go well and smooth. But if a provider owner could take a step back and think about this from a staffing point of view, a staff member's point of view, I think it might help shed some light on some challenges that you may face in the long run. A lot of this has to do with how well you and your spouse honestly communicate with one another, not just, oh yeah, we do great because it's a convenient fit for you to put them in the position, but how honestly do you communicate with one another? How do you feel, and are you on the same page about running the practice and how things should be operating in the capacity of staff members and expectations? Have you put together SOPs, standard operating procedures, and an employee handbook that you will follow to a T so that there's no gray areas and everybody's on the same page? Unfortunately, I have worked, my colleagues have worked, friends have worked in small practices where providers have genuine intentions and putting their spouse in charge of things such as staffing, hiring, firing, payroll, schedules, etc., and it does not go well. A lot of times in my experience, the spouse does not have the experience to do it, and it seems like it's really easy, right? Like, I just got to make a schedule, and I just have to fill out the HR stuff like payroll and taxes and stuff. But there's a lot more to it than that. There's laws. There's best practices to know about in the industry. There is being able to know what your staff needs to be doing in workflows and operating procedures so that you can make sure they can make sure that things are getting done correctly and most efficiently. And staff tend to respect people more who have actually done the job and know the challenges they face on a daily basis, that will listen to them and be able to verify and validate their feelings and hopefully have a good solution because they're familiar with their workflows, with their responsibilities, with their tasks, because they've done it. A lot of times spouses are trying to learn as they go, and it frustrates the staff when they're needing support and information and the person they look to for that cannot provide it. Again, looking from a staff member's point of view, if they are frustrated with their manager, if they are not feeling like they're being supported, if they have some kind of concern, they should feel comfortable going over that person's head, especially if they've tried to work it out with them, or maybe it's a situation where they're not comfortable, but they should feel comfortable taking it to somebody else. And the somebody else above the manager usually is the provider owner. And if you are related, it's a conflict of interest, right? And so the staff member naturally is going to assume, not that I feel this is correct, but it's human nature again, that you're, as the provider, are going to take your spouse's side and defend them or validate how they've been acting and justifying however, whatever, than actually listening and wanting, because that puts you in a tough situation, right? Because you got to live with this person, and if you're not seeing eye to eye, depending on what it is, it could cause personal conflicts, not just professional conflicts with your spouse. And then that's really difficult. So people are going to assume, again, not that it's right, but it happens, that you're going to be taking their side. So then they won't even come to you. Or I have also experienced where they do come to the provider owner and they don't want to deal with it, or they tell them some lip service that isn't true, or they don't follow through on, and then you're losing the respect from your staff. And it just puts you as a provider owner in a really poor situation. It puts your spouse and yourself in a very poor situation. And it puts your staff and staff satisfaction, which is huge, in a really bad situation. Right now, it's very challenging to find staff as it is, especially good staff, and you need to be able to do that to be able to provide the best care to your patients, which is number one. And you can't do that if your staff isn't happy or if you're understaffed. So you need to find that balance, and finding someone from the outside to be kind of the person that the staff reports to, that is the intermediary that takes care of that, I think is very fair. Now, for a spouse to be in charge of like the bookkeeping or the accounting or some of the ordering, where it's not a direct oversight of staff, but it's still keeping eyes and ears in the practice, is a good idea. I don't think that's bad at all. But when it comes to that direct reports, directly being involved in scheduling, time off, wages, any HR related, it could just put you in a really poor situation, especially if someone gets too disgruntled. They could start rumors, they could tell patients, you don't want to deal with that. They could call like the Bureau of Labor and Industry and report you and put you under the microscope. Maybe you're not really doing anything wrong, but if someone's upset enough, it opens that can of worms that you have to deal with that is very unnecessary. So just think about it from that point of view, the liability point of view, the staff satisfaction point of view, your relationship satisfaction point of view, and just digest it a little bit more before you make this decision. Again, I totally get it. It helps save on overhead. It's someone you trust. It's someone that has your best interest at heart. Totally get it. But sometimes the easiest thing to do is not the best thing to do. And in this situation, that's how I feel. I don't feel that a spouse should be in those positions. If you have any experience with this, please leave that in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what other people have to say, your experiences, your opinions. Again, this is an opinion piece. It's just bringing it out there because usually people are so busy working on all the other details of starting up a business. They feel like this is an easy decision. They don't think through it very much and it's just done. So I'm just trying to put it out there for something to actually, think through a little bit further than just making a one and done decision. Smash that thumbs up button if today's video was helpful. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much, you guys. Take care of yourselves. I hope you're doing well. Bye-bye.